obviously, there's a lot to talk about. In fact, OPEC making kind of a bigger move than we think yesterday. That aside, obviously the energy collapse, AI kind of the story. I know you're not a stock person, but do you think what happened in the last 36 hours or so is going to fundamentally change the energy investment and infrastructure story in America?
Well, there was a question about were we having too lofty expectations anyway about, power demand because of AI. But if you think about the near-term story, it still looks very supportive. I mean, look at the situation when it comes to, weather. I mean, if you think about what we've seen in terms of weather events here, in terms of the Gulf Coast, the South, if you look at what's happening in Europe, colder than expected winter weather. We still have, it looks like, significant seasonal demand for natural gas, and we just have to wait and see how this story plays out on AI.
Okay, you pointed this out to me, and I want to be clear, Kelly. I have no idea what this means. It may mean nothing. I want to make that clear, but the Danish government.
I know.
The Danish government today, in Danish, so we use the
Not in English.
We use the translate, and I think I posted, Javier Blas of Bloomberg originally posted it, great work by him, basically saying they're going to allow Russia to do some maintenance work on the blown-up Nord Stream 2 pipeline. What does this possibly mean? This seems like a big deal.
Undisclosed maintenance work. And it was so interesting because European governments were roundly saying, never again are we taking Russian pipeline gas. And so the question is this just because of environmental precaution?
And it could be.
It could be. Basically, that's what the expectation is. But we also have a story out today talking about Germany taking record LNG imports from Russia as well. Now, that is essentially blended LNG. It comes via sort of France to Germany. But there's a broader question about, are we going to see more Russian molecules making their way into Europe? Because you had a previous guest talking about Germany. Germany has suffered a lot economically because of their energy insecurity.
I mean, listen, I was not privy to the Danish but I take your point. So here's what I'm thinking about. I hear Danish, I think what's going on with Greenland, right? I hear LNG, and I think America's trying to clearly increase our presence in the economic situation of Europe via gas, via literally whatever the situation is. What's the big picture here?
Well, see, again, to be determined in terms of this Danish story, but we have to stay on top of it. But President Trump has been really adamant. Europe, we want you to take more U.S. LNG, more U.S. energy in general. So was this announcement sort of a subtle message to the United States about potentially like alternative suppliers?
Like you threatened to take Greenland, and we're going to go take more Russian.
Buy Greenland, not take it.
Purchase.
The purchase agreement.
Acquire.
So I think it's going to be very interesting to see like how energy becomes a broader bargaining chip. When we think about, China tariffs, does China come in and basically say, we're going to buy a lot of U.S. LNG as part of the negotiation? So how energy fits into these broader negotiations is going to be fascinating.